I invited a few people. I don't know if they're going to show up or not, or if I even invited them properly. I don't know how to get you out of there. How do I get you out of there? Guests. Add to stage. Aha. Aha.
Hey, you found it.
Can you hear me, Goose?
Ha.
Now
Yep.
one of y'all's got a cat too.
I think Pat
That's
has a
me.
cat. Yeah.
Aha.
I have like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 cats in my house.
Yeah, no rodent problem then, that's for sure.
You should have told Muffin Top because you had him like panicking.
Now, they're pretty much useless. Like my wife's grandmother's cat we inherited when she died, he's completely deaf. He doesn't catch any mice. And one of them is like 14 years old, and all he does is eat and sleep. The other ones are my daughter's cats. All right, we're going to take care of this. Where's the squirt bottle?
Surely even a deaf cat catches a blind mouse once in a while.
Go.
Those are some rowdy animals.
Well, I have my mic turned up. I should probably fix that or something. So what were you guys talking about before I jumped in? Anything in particular?
No, we're just pretty much talking about what everyone wants to do this summer. That's all.
I'll turn it back down a little bit. Is that still okay?
Yeah,
You
I
can
can
still
still
sound the same. I think it just helps with your background noise.
Yeah, we'll see if the cat meows again.
Did he really just build himself?
I've never seen the host just boot himself. All right, Lawfully, it's your channel now, baby.
Jesus.
There's
I've been trying for the last hour and a half to get my phone above 35%.
There's a way he got himself back in, right?
Yeah, he got himself back in.
Yeah, if he just opens it back up, there he is.
Ta-da!
That's one way to get rid of the cat noise.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot StreamYard. I can't do anything else on my phone.
You got to be real careful. You split screen it. You have to hurry and do it before Chrome refreshes.
Yeah, that's kind of messed up. I like Rumble. Rumble is better in that regard. I can actually black the screen on my phone. I can go look at other tabs and stuff. It's a lot nicer.
I can't get into anything with my phone. I have to use the freaking laptop. Or
You can't even get in trouble.
oh, I can do that.
Bounce to bounce.
Yeah, so I feel like a spoiled brat. I bought myself that Flux Raider, and then my wife went and bought me that the Koa. Pretty happy about it though, even though I do feel spoiled.
So you're not regretting the Raider anymore then?
No, it has a purpose. It's gonna be it's like super compact and 60 rounds on board with both the magazines inserted. So it's gonna live in a bag when I go out and about.
Yeah.
I just wish that I hadn't bought it so I could have got the the Glock, but now I have both. So what are you gonna do?
That radar is sweet though.
I did something weird. I actually tried to get it sighted in this weekend, and I had to crank the windage all the way to the left just to get it on the X.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's just a shitty mount for that, because I have the Gideon optics on there. I don't know if it's just got a bad mount or what the deal is.
That's for the
But
flux,
there's
I'm guessing.
yeah,
Okay.
it's a plastic rail. I don't know if I just didn't get it on there good enough. I loosened it back up and pushed it as far forward as I could and like gave it a little bit of left bias and tightened it down, so maybe that'll make a difference. But I was able to get it pretty much sighted in, and at 21 feet, I knocked the red out of the um, bullseye.
How
It was
much
pretty.
wind is just on it now though?
Oh, but without loosening it, I just cranked it all the way to the left, and that's where I left it when I left the range. Like just tonight is when I loosened it and tried to move it over. I'm going Friday again to the Sportsman's Club up my way. I'm gonna try and sight it in again, see if it made any difference.
Did you got a dry fire practice?
I have a dry fire laser deal.
Because you could probably see it that.
Compatible with that?
Yeah.
I haven't found that to be super accurate. I actually have a laser bore sighter 9mm, but it won't go in the chamber. Like
Oh.
the slide won't close on it. I don't know why. Um, got some people coming in.
Do you have to
Still
take
on
your
here.
ejector out?
Maybe
Or
that's
your
what the deal.
extractor? Need to take your
That,
extractor out?
yeah, I thought about trying to load it in the magazine and see if it would go in that way. I just never got
I
around to doing
wouldn't.
that.
I don't know
Those
about
lasers
that.
are fragile. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. It's not a. Don't use it like a snap cap.
Does
Not if
anybody
you
know
want it
how
to
I
last for me. Sorry.
does anybody know how I can like share this without leaving, without like booting myself all the way out?
Where you want to share it?
Like just in the Discord, I guess.
I shared it to Muffin Top's general Discord.
Oh, okay. That's good enough.
I know this weekend I was messing with a bunch of dots at the store, and it's kind of crazy on how green doesn't starburst for much as me than red.
Yeah, it's got to be something about the wavelength of light, how it
Yeah,
bounces off of your eye.
I'm switching stuff over to green as well. Just because you never know.
Does it hurt your dot more? Like the battery? Does anyone know if it takes more battery?
Probably.
I imagine the diode is pretty much the same. But I do not know that for certain.
What's the question of the battery? I came back in from Discord.
If you're using a green dot, does it last less than the red dot?
Traditionally, that was the answer that you would get. Like all the groups and trace lasers, all the previous stuff in green had a shorter runtime, but Holliston's claim with their diode is it runs as longer in the green than the red. Now, just the dot versus the complex, like dot and circle or ACSS Vulcan reticle, those use more because it's a bigger,
Yeah, I
larger
know.
diode.
Yeah, I know the circle and the ACSS Vulcan did more because it's powering more. But I know the whole rumor with the red versus green and everything, and I don't know why one would last shorter than the other because you would think it's the same. But
The power necessary to
And
generate
what
the
I'm
different
and
wavelength.
what and what I'm getting off of a quick Google's it is that your standard or your primaries should use relatively about the same amount, but white would take more. So probably not a noticeable amount.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know why the green dots aren't more common. I know I had my heart set on the primary arms. They have what's their mailbox style one, the enclosed red dot. I wanted one of
the
those with the.
ATX1, the one that just came out.
It's been out for a little while,
Okay, so it's not that one.
but I wanted the Vulcan reticle in that enclosed emitter, but they didn't have it in green. Like, why isn't green just like an option with every new? Maybe it's not that big of a market.
It's growing.
Because I'd pretty much resolved myself since I already spent all my money on that flux that I was just going to wait and see if the Koa came out in green. Because I only have one green red dot, and it is far superior for my eyeballs.
Does Aimpoint even have anything in green?
I never did the research on that to see if that was even going to happen.
Because
That
I
was
feel
I
like,
don't think so.
yeah,
that was
EOTech does
just
some
my
green, but I hadn't.
that was just my justification for waiting on the Koa.
yeah. I don't even know if does primary arbs even have anything in green? Because I know
Yeah, they
red.
do.
Okay.
They have their other, like the 507s come in green, and a
Yeah, but
lot of the other dots come in green.
that's the Hollow 7, the Hollow Sun stuff. Isn't that just made by Hollow Sun? They just slap their name on it. That's what I got told.
What did
No,
I say? Primary arms?
Yeah.
Did I? Yeah, I meant Hollow Sun. I'm sorry.
Well, I know primary arms made like they let Hollow Sun make stuff for them and they slap their name on it. That's why.
I was gonna say Holliston makes their stuff.
Yeah, that's what I meant was Hollow Sun.
508T, their mailbox site.
Yeah, I had my heart set on one of those before I tried this Gideon Optics one, but they didn't have them in green either, so they're all red.
I mean, I find it crazy that people can see a red dot with a perfect circle, and I'm over here starburst, and I'm like, no way, you're lying to me. That's not a perfect circle.
I see multiple dots, like 8 little dots that make up the dot when I
So
look at most red dots.
mine's just fuzzy on the outside. That's it.
And if I
So
turn the brightness up, then it starbursts way out.
yeah, you don't have just one shooting star. You've got like a string of tracers.
Yeah. And the first red dot I ever owned was a what was that? Well, no,
Bushmeal.
the first thing that did it to me, I had a SIG fixed power, like a 4 power um, with a reticle in it. But for some reason, the reticle was fuzzy to me, and I didn't realize it for the longest time. But you could actually um, change the focus on the reticle, and then when I could see it clear as day, everyone else said it was blurry. And then the first red dot I ever got was a vortex. It's I don't know what the hell the name of it was, but it's the one that has that weird cantilever mount, and it's only one ring
Strike
around it.
fire.
Yeah. And it came with the matching magnifier. And that thing looks like a half a moon to me.
Hmm.
Instead of a circle or a bunch of little dots, it looks like a half moon.
And it's a big dot. It's a 3 MOA, 4 MOA maybe. I don't remember. It's bigger than 2. It's been so long since I touched one. Did you have just
And
the
I
red
was
one, or did you have the red and green combo?
no, it's just red. And I was losing my mind. Like I thought there's just something wrong with it. And then I had other people look, and they're like, "It looks good to me. I don't know what you're talking about." This is before I even knew what astigmatism was.
So like I knew what they were because they were in the science book when I was a kid, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, man, that's what the highway looks like at night. It's like all the lines stretched out."
Yeah, I have that problem too. And the problem is I drive at night exclusively for my job.
Supposedly, there's like contacts that can get that corrected. Supposedly,
Mm-hmm. It just takes into account the aspherical, the spherical symmetry of your eyeball.
can they do that for glasses too?
Yep.
I might have to go to the eye doctor and see if they can do that.
Somebody thinks my eyes are beautiful. Somebody been talking to my wife.
You got a tactical muffin. That's who said that.
I bet you guys don't even know what color my eyes are. You shut up.
They're blue, aren't they?
Statistically, they're blue.
Well, no. Pat went live with his camera on one time.
More than one time.
What eyes?
So blue.
I put hazel on all my stuff. They're kind of not blue or kind of not green. They're kind of in between.
In hazel light. Green, brown. My uncle's
I
a
don't know.
chimera. He's got one green eye and one blue eye.
Somebody told me hazel once, and I've just been putting that on everything ever since. I'm afraid to change. If I put the wrong eye color, then they're gonna deny me for my gun purchase.
Yep.
4473 doesn't have to be your eye
Probably
color.
no.
Is that a Pennsylvania thing?
What we got? You guys don't have to put eye color down for your forms?
Nope.
Yeah, we got to put eye color, weight, height, hair color.
Nope.
The Pennsylvania has a separate pistol form that we have to fill out. It goes to the state police.
Yeah.
They want your employer, their address, their phone number.
What the fuck?
Just
That's
collecting
not
data
a
on
goddamn
people.
business.
Yeah, they're just
Yeah.
collecting data on gun owners.
And they want your employer's address too. So it's like if you forget where you work, like not everyone knows the exact address. You're like looking it up on your phone.
Yeah, they want to know where to come find you if you catch a warrant.
Pretty
How
much.
do they verify that? Because, like, how does the dealer verify that? Or does
He
he just
doesn't.
take whatever you write down?
Yeah, I mean, you put if you're unemployed or a student, you just put unemployed or student.
So, what address do you put when you're a student?
You just put student. You leave it blank.
It sounds like I'd be a perpetual student. Student of the gun.
There's no way they're gonna make you put your whole college address and everything on there. At least that's what I've been told from multiple FFLs.
Looks like we're trying to talk somebody into putting an LPVO on their rifle.
I'm not.
Sophia B.
It's just what I
It is.
prefer. It's what I prefer with my stigmatism. I like the LVPO or LP
Well,
low power.
just anything with an etched reticle. If you're red dot ish and you have astigmatism, you get the primary arms. What's it called? Cyclops. They have a one power prism optic. They also have like 3 power, 5 power.
Yeah, the prism optics, right? That's what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I got their 3. I love that.
that's what I wanted, but I guess 3 was about to come out, and I thought I found it, and it was actually the 1 power. And I tried putting the magnifier behind it, and it just doesn't work. Either it's fuzzy without the magnifier, and then when with the magnifier it's clear, or it's the opposite. It's
You
clear
could,
without the magnifier, but then it's fuzzy with the magnifier. No matter which way I dial the prism optic or the magnifier, I can't get them both.
I didn't know you could put an optify the gosh. Behind a
Evidently, if
prism.
you
Magnifier.
if you don't have astigmatism, you can.
Well, it's etched though. So like if you don't turn it on, you still have the etch reticle.
Yeah, I mean, I tried everything. I got it to the point where they were both just a little fuzzy, and I was like, "Fuck this! This isn't worth it." Yeah, I've LPVOs on pretty much all of my rifles except for my shorty boy. The only downside to them really is they're not really daylight. They're not really red dot bright down on 1 power. But if you're going to run something like a 1 to 8 or a 1 to 10 and then piggyback a red dot on top of it or to the side, I feel like you're still getting the same of both worlds. You can leave the LPVO on whatever setting you please, and then just transition to the red dot when you need something up close.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested on that. The EOTech Voodoo that came out. The
Yeah,
short stubby 3x9.
that's not in my budget.
No, I didn't say it's my budget, but it's enough for me to go mess around with it at the shop.
Yeah.
I mess with a lot of stuff at the shop that's out of my budget.
And I'm still torn on what to do, whether have the red dot on top of the LPVO or cantilever.
That's personal preference, I feel.
As my son has this cantilever mount, and it keeps the red dot super close. So if you're looking through his LPVO, all you got to do is like flick your wrist like 10 degrees, and now you're looking through the red dot. Whereas if it's up on top, you have to completely change your head position and get like a chin weld instead of a cheek weld, which I guess is fine for up close and quick. And also, if you're going to run night vision, I think the top is the best, the clear winner.
I will say I mess with the what's it called? The Ruger 1022 carbon fiber. Oh my god, that thing was so light.
Yeah, that 1022 carbon is lighter than Harry Potter's magic stick. What the fuck ever those are called. Wand. I stroked a second. The word failed me. Not to make light of people that have strokes.
I'm gonna hop off with this time change. It is already 10:15. You guys have a good night. Thank you, Pat, for letting me be on.
Sure. I'm finally figuring out how to get people on here. Now I'm figuring out that I can
Learning.
put people's comments up.
Yeah, you just tap on them to highlight.
Yeah, I was just like tapping, trying to scroll. That's the only reason I was putting them up previously.
I think Muffin Top's in the back chat. He said
Oh, is
knock
he?
knock. I guess he's.
Figure out how to do this again. Add to
You click on
stage.
guest and then add to stage. There he is. He's got his old logo still too.
Hey-oooo.
Tap from Muffin Top, you have to unmute. You come in muted, remember? Yeah, that's the North American Arms mini revolver. It's that Lipsy's exclusive.
Did he leave? Did I do something wrong? What's going on here? Add
Tired.
to
Might have
stage.
He's
There it
here.
is.
Oh, he went and
Might
changed
have
his logo.
Oh, no, it didn't. It just did that randomly. That's really weird.
So did you
Yeah, I
get
saw you.
did you get the boy put to bed?
And the wife kind of took over.
Nice.
Yeah. I let her take a shower, and he's about out. He's pretty wore out. We wore him out good today. We was at the park. It was about 67, 68 degrees here. So his grandpa came over, and me and him took him to the park and ran him down, and then we smoked some meat and got some meal prep together out in the backyard and ran him around back there some more. So it's good.
Yeah, I
Is
got
there a what?
got a trampoline for the little man a few days ago. Been trying to get him keep going on that, get him tired out.
Yeah.
Jeez, I get tired just watching him jump on the fucking thing.
Yeah, if we could harness that and then save it for when we don't have that energy anymore, that would be amazing.
Well,
Yeah, my wife just bought a bounce house.
the elite figured that out. They scare them to death and then murder them and take their adrenochrome out of their pineal gland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
So
I
maybe
just didn't want to be an asshole.
maybe we'll just let the kids have it. They earned it.
Yeah.
So did you guys see my my rollaway chicken nesting deal that I did today?
I just looked
Dude,
at
I like it.
the pan deal. What's your mixture for your waste catching of pans? Is that the sand litter method?
What are you talking about?
You got like paint
in their
trays
coop?
underneath their that's what I
No,
got.
it's no the paint trays are to catch the eggs and roll them away, so that one bitch quits eating them, and hopefully they won't be covered in so much poop.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I
There's
thought
just
like
a
the way it was like just to catch their poop when they're nesting right there.
no. They're just there's a little piece of carpet in there to try and entice them to lay the eggs there, and then as they lay them, they just roll down because the paint tray is sloped.
Right.
And then I got a piece of plexiglass over top so they can't get to them after it rolls down. So I guess we'll see tomorrow morning if they'll lay in there. I thought you meant bedding. It's like
No, there's like a I don't know, it's like sand or sand litter method, something like you kind of take a big poop scoop through it, and apparently it helps keep like mites and stuff away, opposed to like doing straw or the wood, because then you have the moisture issue. I
yeah.
don't know. I've been looking at a lot of shit lately with chickens. Me and R have been going off the deep end on like checking out like companionship growing and what we were going to put in what garden beds, and we've been building a shitload of garden beds and doing like the stick method with the leaves and then the dirt. We've been busy. We've been hard at it.
Have you looked at where they use cardboard? You put down cardboard and then you put your dirt on top of it, and then supposedly no weeds will grow.
Yep, it works. I did it with all my my expansion last year. I got enough. I'm gonna do all around all of the the raised beds and in the bottom of the raised beds, you're supposed to wet it first and then put whatever you're going to put on top. And then I got enough. We can go around all of the raised beds, and then we'll wood chip around it to keep some extra moisture in, and B, keep the weeds and stuff away from the sides of the beds, like snakes and stuff that want to hang out there.
Yeah, I'm bad with my chickens. I just use wood chips.
Yeah, I've seen that. Which is
They
good
say
for your
that-
compost, but in the winter, I guess it can help keep them warm, but it keeps more moisture in the things. So it can rot your floor out quicker.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. I think I have a heater in there, so hopefully that will keep the moisture down.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a virgin chicken owner right now. I'm in the critical think method on what I want to do. So any veteran,
You said that your chickens are still virgins.
yeah, well, they won't be for very long. Muffin Top's gonna be
You brute.
you brute. Sophia B runs the wood chip method. Deep litter method during the winter. Yeah, that's what I thought. The deep litter method looked easier to maintain, other than just scraping the whole fucking floor and putting all.
Isn't that where you just keep putting new stuff on top of the poop?
No, you get like everybody I see puts like a big cat litter scoop on like a broom handle or like a shovel handle or whatever. So you don't have to bend over, and you just siphon through all that crap, and then you re-rake it all down, and then there's some stuff that you can spray on it. I think it's like the first Saturday method where you spray a bunch of crap down, and basically you don't have to change it out. It just keeps going. You add some sand and whatever to it. Like probably would be
Those
good.
kids will just use straw.
Well,
You put straw in the laying boxes and then some straw down low.
well, you know what?
Then out in the run, they just had little buckets of chicken scratch.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Lawfully,
That's
if you want to come clean my coop for me, by all means.
I don't. I'm just saying what my grandparents did 25 years ago.
Yeah.
I go collect
As long
the
as
eggs
you-
and get paid.
As long as you use barn lime or diatomaceous earth under everything, it keeps the pest away. I've got a lot of that diatomaceous earth.
Yeah.
I found it stupid cheap a while back. Bought a bunch.
At refugemedical.com.
No, the ref Amazon.
All right. So, Sophia B, what if I'm just going to rock 8? What would you recommend? Sorry. I didn't want to take over your chat about chicks. So
No,
all the chickens around here came into like the bum guards and Tractor Supplies and everything this week. They all fucking sold out like before noon. Like everybody's picking up chickens around here. It's crazy.
My wife showed me this picture. There was people like lined up outside of the store to get chicks.
Oh my god.
What's funny is this is going to make a bunch of people be chicken people, and like that's like the first step to homesteading.
Yeah,
There's going to be a whole new wave of people.
Yeah, but think about how many of them aren't going to keep up with it if the prices settle back down.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I
but
know.
if you keep 10% of it going, I'd take it. That's more prepared people, man.
Yeah, I've been seeing every once in a while I take this weird path to work and through a backside, and there's a guy that's always like I found out a couple of days ago they are chicken coops sitting out in his front yard with for sale signs on them. Like he builds them, paints them, makes them look halfway decent and shit. Thinking about stopping and talking to him.
Yeah, see if you can get a hillbilly swap going.
Yeah, I mean, well, the area he lives in is like good for that too. So
nice.
I got an Amish built
That's
coop.
acreage.
That thing is a tank.
How many muffins does that run though?
I don't know. My wife bought it used, and I'm sure it was still up there pretty high.
Nice. So I'm looking
How
at
much
a
what?
It's Amish built chicken coop.
Oh,
nice.
It's pretty badass. It's got like a hatch in the middle that you raise up, and then the ramp that comes down from it is actually on a string. So at night you can pull the string up, and it raises the ramp and blocks it so nothing can get in the coop.
Oh, nice. I was just gonna rock one of those. You can get a solar door that's like 80 or 90 muffins on Amazon. I just thought that would be the way to go. So I make sure it's shut in case I forget to do something, or I'm out of town. Or
Well, the
like
way
this
I have
happens where I have to do something at night and I didn't get a chance to go shut it and some raccoons or something roll in somehow.
the way I have mine set up now is I have a dog kennel next to their coop, and I just got it all where they have access to it all the time.
Right.
But they go, they go in at night, and I've seen where something had been digging at the edge of the dog kennel.
Ooh.
Team Quack Attack, what's up?
Yes, sir.
You got 22.
Thanks for sharing the post log.
But I have the only thing I don't like about it is a lot of chicken coops where their nesting boxes are. Usually that roof will like raise up so you can reach down in. I have these itty bitty little doors on the side. I have to like hold the door down and reach in there and get the eggs. And something came along and ripped one of the doors off trying to get in there.
Padlock it.
Well, I rigged something up where there's like a bar across all of them now.
There you go. Yeah, I was eyeballing they have a shed. It's like what is it? A 6x8 or 6x10 shed, but it's like metal roof, metal walls. And then it has a door on the side that I want. And I was just going to cut a hole in the side to connect to my dog kennel so they can hang out in the dog kennel.
It'd be cool
like
to
the
splice some
idea-
PVC pipe and make that into the chicken scratch like trough.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. You just put a 90 or a 45 on the bottom and a clean out on top. So you can just fill it on top so you don't have to bend over and stuff.
Yeah, we
Of
don't
course,
need you bending
I have
over.
a shitload of PVC, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like the idea if you plan on staying small is the little chicken tractors, like the little A-frame things.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chicken coop at either end of it, and then it's on wheels, and you can just pick it up and move it. And
Yeah.
they will eat anything that's on the ground there. Like they will kill the grass. They will do everything. If you've got a good spot you want your garden, I feel like you just move that chicken tractor around all winter long, and they eat everything, all the weeds, anything green that grows will not grow there anymore. And then you'll get, chicken poop for your fertilizer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can move them all around your yard and let them eat up all the pests and stuff for you.
Yeah, just move it like every half a day or whatever. I've been looking. I seen somebody do that with a swing set, like
Chickens.
a triangle deal, and I thought that would be
Mhm.
really cool because then you could put some roosting stuff so they can get up high if they wanted to. Yeah, that's true, Grit and Grace. Yeah, I think you have to mix your chicken poop in with some compost because it's hot.
An old the bouncing thing. I'm like lawfully
Trampoline.
right now. Yeah, old trampoline frames. You can chicken wire across all that, and they're fairly light. You can move that stuff around.
Yeah, I seen that too. I was so pissed. I had one that was free not very long ago, and then I seen that and I was like, "Oh, that'd be sweet." And then somebody else had already scooped that up, and I was like, "Shit."
So I guess when the boy breaks his arm on that fucking trampoline, I guess I know what I'm turning it into then.
Hell yeah! Hashtag chicken tractor. I mean, hopefully he doesn't break his arm. But...
yeah, but I'm sure it'll happen.
We had a bunch of guineas when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Was that supposed to be
Start out
chicken is not manure, or is chicken hot manure?
Hot.
It's hot.
What does that mean?
It'll burn up your plants. You have to mix it with stuff.
Oh, so you can't like till it in with other things?
Maybe, but I
Like,
think the composting method's probably the best way to rotate it in and out.
is it like acidity or is it the like urea or something? What's
I don't know the chemical, but it's kind of like worm pea can be too hot. Like you can't mix a gallon of worm pea and just dump it straight into your garden. It's like so potent. It's so what I don't know the fucking word for it, but Grit and Grace
degrade?
people would know. Yeah, you gotta let it. Yeah, Grit and Grace. You gotta let it break down. There's I don't know what the chemical is. It's like fertilizer. Like fertilizer could just be like garden grade, and then if you you have enough of it, then it's pew pew explosive grade. You know what I mean?
What's the nitrogen concentration in that instance?
Yeah, nitrogen. That's what Grit and Grace said. Thank you. I'm retarded.
Oh, yep,
High in nitrogen. There you go.
she
I
just
couldn't
plant you
think.
some beans or something over it.
Yeah, if
Put
you
something
just mix in
that
like
loves
their yeah, I think this one gal I know, she has a huge one, like 8 foot long or 12 foot long, big ass compost. She just like puts all of her leaves and all of her weeds and like straw and stuff, and just mixes it in with chicken poop, and then flips it, and then like they do grass clippings and stuff, and they just mix all that together, and it makes bomb fucking garden soil for them.
Sprinkle a little potassium on there and bounce it out.
Wait a minute. Yeah, did you get a chance? I missed it. If you said it, have you shot the 43 with that KOA on it?
Yeah, my
Was it
very
good?
first shot was a dead bullseye at 21 feet.
Holy shit! There you go.
They come sighted in, which is pretty cool.
Damn. So is
Yeah,
that your new appendix rig?
yeah.
Nice.
Unfortunately, I brought my low left ammo. I didn't bring my sighted in ammo, so the rest of them were all low and left.
Well,
Mhm.
that happens.
Yeah, I told that to the guys that own the gun shop, and he just couldn't stop laughing. I guess, did I just make that up? Because I've never heard it before.
I hadn't
That's a
either.
new one for me. I'm gonna use that.
Your lawfully should be low right because he's left-handed, right?
Yeah.
So I
Supposed
did
to
a
be.
thing on Red Dawn's chat that I was on with him the other day, and I picked up a core battle belt. So I'm kind of excited for that to show up.
Hurry up. You're going to miss the bandwagon. It's leaving.
I haven't had any retail therapy.
Well,
We looked at laptops
Says,
today.
says the
yeah.
guy that just bought the brand new pistol that just came out and nobody's reviewed yet. I guess I'll be the reviewer.
Yeah, you should. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
you
a
ought to get
forearm.
in on that while you can.
Yeah, that'd probably give you a pretty good boost.
If you're still able to shoot out in your yard, like the algorithm loves the pew shorts.
Yep.
If you use like hashtag Glock, hashtag SIG,
Hashtag KOA.
IWB, yeah, aimpoint
Hashtag
cola.
ABC. Yeah.
I don't. Something I did or said really like boosted me because that short for the fanny pack took off, but then that short for the that part one of the bodyguard, like it had like 100 and something. No, it wasn't even that many, like 40 or 50 something views. Like by the end of that night, I woke up the next day and checked it, and it had like 400 something. It had 500 within the first 24 hours. That's the most I've had. Because it was exponential.
Cool kid. No.
I mean, it's not gaining me a bunch of subs or anything. It just was a bunch of views.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. You probably need to rock a video on that Flux too. There's not a whole lot of videos on that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, there are all the big.
But it's time for a little channel to step in the ring, baby. That's cool though. So does that Flux run the same rigs for your macro that you had?
No,
Oh
that
man,
would have been sweet.
yeah, that
When
would
they're
run
making that,
smoother.
you should have held out.
Yeah, the 365 Flux is pretty badass.
Hmm.
Pat, you need to hurry and get out from under that one, and then get into the 365 Flux.
Yeah, but do you have a 365?
Yeah, you got the macro.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but he don't want it no more.
And it only uses the macro magazine. So if you have just a regular 365, then you can't use your magazines for it. It only uses the X macro mags.
Yeah, but your macro mags would work on your pistol, so it's still like a perfect pair. You start out with
Yeah.
like if you've got kind of like I wouldn't intentionally run the extended Glock mags in a 26. You know, I'd carry like the 12 rounders or whatever. But then if I had like 17s or the 24s or the 30, 33 rounders
Yeah.
for the carbine or the sub 2000 or whatever, you know, like
I want Glock, like a Glock branded, tried and true PCC. That would be bitching.
Yeah, we've been asking for that for fucking forever, though.
I know they have an AR, but it's not on the civilian market. It's currently up for bid this season for a military contract.
It's not gonna ever happen, and you know it.
Dude, why would you say that? I would buy one probably in a heartbeat just because I'm a hoe bag for Glocks.
I mean, you're not gonna be the only one, but
Yeah, that's
you can fucking overpay for it. I don't give a shit, but
nah. It's got to be Glock. They ain't gonna make you overpay that. Like look how cheap.
last
Honest.
comment.
What?
like my 43X, I freaking paid way too much for it, but it's because I wanted to hurry up and have it.
Yeah.
You know, I let
Go for it,
myself
Lawfully.
get blocked by a little bit.
I'm perplexed by Mark Liggins' comment.
The Flex Raider.
No,
Oh, Mark.
that was crap.
Paul is the man with the documentary about the L2 survive. I Starbucks since this guy's gardening method. Okay, cool.
Mm.
Also, there's a book you can get called Gardening Guards. Well, I'll have to check that book out. That's cool. We got that Old Ways book, and then we got a bunch of older books from family members.
Were you guys gonna run over to Honda's chat? Evidently, it began 26 minutes ago.
Yeah, did it? Shit.
Yeah, I never got a notification. He went live
Oh, I got it
from YouTube.
Right on.
I got it from Rumble, and then I was like, huh, and I jumped over and hit like, and it was like, no rink, and then just a few minutes later he sent a rink. So, but I only have 19% battery, and it's not gaining while it's sitting on the charger. So,
Uh-oh.
Using more than it's taking.
ride the time out here, get our boy Pat-Riot some screen time. Pat, how many subs you up to now? Not that it's competition, but just curious.
um,
362.
72, baby.
5,000 subs.
I just need to go on and make a rant video about how bad taxes suck or something, and how hard it is to be a man these days, and then I'll go viral and have like 10,000 subscribers overnight.
Mm-hmm. Wear your hat backwards. Ladies love it when you wear your hat backwards.
No way, boys. We're here for the real ones. We're gonna get the sub. We're gonna get the good people subs. We're gonna get the quality individuals. We're not gonna get the fucking bots that YouTube throws on all the queer ass videos. We're here
Yeah,
to build strong-willed, strong individual communities here.
I saw one as a guy from the UK. All he was doing was ranting about how hard it was. He's like in his 40s and making minimum wage. And evidently he blew up and had like 10,000 subscribers over a weekend.
Well, that's his own fucking fault for not trying to exceed past what he's been doing for 40 fucking years. I could have been sitting on disability, popping the best pills, but my fat ass is still working, and I probably did more in my side gigs than most people do for their full-time fucking jobs. It's willpower, baby. Not being a weak individual. Going out and getting your fucking shit, because nobody's going to hand you the good shit.
Yeah, I got somebody that's been living in my house for like 5 years, over 5 years, and hasn't worked a day since they've been here.
What?
It's getting pretty old.
Fucking, they need
It's
a...
that fucking cat.
Oh, man. That cat.
It might identify as a cat. I'm not sure yet.
Oh, my gosh. Well...
You know, they them like to identify in whatever they're feeling like for the day.
Well, I guess if you're feeding them some cat food and they're shitting in a litter box, that's all they get then. I bet if you changed up the diet rotation to that, they might go get a job.
Answer first.
Answer first. That's funny.
Yeah, I'm not really in it for the subscribers. For the whole reason for my channel is to have just me out there in the world for when I'm gone.
Mm-hmm.
My kids can look back on this. It's, the internet's forever. They can, once I'm gone, they can get to know me in a way they didn't while I was still here. My grandkids.
You could teach them a lot through YouTube too. So I know you and Lawfully say it a lot, but you wish that you could understand what your grandparents were saying to you if you were a little bit older. Excuse me. If you could take it in. I'm lucky. My grandpa was like my dad, and he's still kicking. So I'm over there a lot. And my son loves hanging out with them. And we just planned out that garden the other day. And my son got to help. They gave him some options of what to plant, what he wanted. And now we're adding a big ass watermelon patch. So it's awesome. Like I'm glad that he was their first great grandkid. So I'm happy that he's starting to get old enough that grandma or grandpa will be like, oh hey, he asks all the time. He's like, can I pull this? And it's hard when I get the seedlings and stuff planted, but after they're going, he's really good at pulling weeds and stuff. So I mean, 3-year-old figuring that out's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So one of these days with the chickens and stuff, we get it going, and if I do the meat rabbits with it or quail, I'm sure his class, because we went to a class member's farm, they did the cows and stuff and the goats and all that crap. We got to go check that out. Well, he might be the kid bringing some people over and we show them micro homesteading. It's gonna be cool.
I'd go meet rabbits over quail.
I don't know, man. The problem is I have to put them somewhere in the winter. Because right now, I just want to let them. Yeah, that's true. But I'd like to keep at least 2 or 3 does at the buck if I was going to do that. But I was thinking about just putting them on top of, because I'm putting my chickens in a dog kennel. I was thinking about just metal zip tying in a cattle panel and a cage on top, and that be where the rabbits chill. So that way the chickens can peck through their poop, and then I can just clean up 1 pen instead of 2.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
And then the rabbits fuck like rabbits, and then you got more. So
yeah. But they're probably gonna have to go in the garage with some meat stuff. Yeah, man. If I could stack a small freezer just full of rabbit meat, dude, that would be baller for my diet too, because that meat's so lean.
Dude, it's so good for you.
Yeah. Quail, I've heard, are prone to self-injure. Bunnies are easy. Oh, I don't know about that. Meat rabbits make good dog food as well. Yeah, that's true.
And I feel like getting the meat out from the rabbits is a lot easier than the quail.
Yeah. Plus, then you, if the rabbits breed quick enough, like if you boil the bones and stuff, and then you throw them in an oven sheet, bake them, and powder them, you get a lot of bone meal for your potatoes.
Really?
Yeah, you can do it with chickens, but yeah, bone meal is like super good for your potatoes and a couple other plants. But yeah, potatoes,
Yep,
like I guess if you do like the stack method where you fill them up with dirt until like their leaves are just under being covered like an inch above your dirt, and you sprinkle bone meal before and after, it's like really good for your potatoes. But then you can use that chicken bone broth or the rabbit bone broth in your dog food too. Everything wants to eat quail. Hell yeah, dude. I love eating quail.
My buddy's got a bunch of quail going. And that's the reason why I say that the meat rabbits is because he wishes that he would have went rabbits over the quail.
All right. Maybe we'll go that way.
But it's because he keeps his quail nearby, so
Gotcha.
and the baby's in the spare room.
Newsflash: if
Justin,
you're
can you read the live chat?
Yeah, I read it.
What? Did I miss it? Oh, yours? I like the dirty Sanchez he's rocking. Nice. That's a good one. I don't know. Pat, how many chickens do you keep?
I had 8, but one of them I didn't catch it in time, and the other one started pecking at it. And they like the day after I found it, I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to get a pen together and put them by themselves. The next day, she was dead.
You got to get rid of that
Yeah.
egg.
Yeah, you gotta get that egg eater.
From what I've been deep diving into the chickens, you got to get rid of that song.
Well, that's what this
I-
whole system is for. They won't be able to access the eggs once they get off of them.
Yeah.
I eat 4 to 6 a day.
Dude, I am so sad because my egg consumption is very low right now, and I usually eat almost 60 eggs a month by myself on my diet, dude.
I have found, I'm not saying this is like cost effective or anything, but just weather in the storm right now. Like at Walmart, a dozen eggs is $5.97, but then right up above them, the prepackaged half dozen hard-boiled eggs are like $3.60 something. So for like 50 cents more, I can get a dozen already hard-boiled eggs and just not have to mess with it.
Yeah, I love hard-boiled eggs. Our egg sections everywhere around here, like, unless their box isn't damaged, have like some damaged eggs, it's gone. So like they bring out the pallet of eggs at like the Sam's or Costco. I literally watched that last Tuesday. Like people were scooping it up on flatbeds. I was like, holy shit. I got a family member about an hour away that has a pretty big chicken coop that one of our MAG members is going to go. We just placed an egg order from everybody. She's got a freeze dryer too. She was having issues getting rid of the eggs last year, and some of them were like going to spoil. Like she was trying to feed the garden with them and everything, and bought a freeze dryer to put up the eggs, but not this year. She's flipping a shitload of them.
Is there any harm, like if you weren't like that and had a freeze dryer, is there any harm in like just cracking a bunch of eggs in like a gallon freezer bag and just freezing them?
I don't know about the gallon freezer bag. I've seen people do the muffin tin. About 2 to 3 eggs roughly fit in there. So you already basically have a scrambled serving for like one person. I would see like if you busted out the whole bag of like a freezer bag, you got to like eat the whole fucking thing.
I do that.
That's true. I guess freezing them into portions makes more sense than just freezing the whole big ass block.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do for meal preps. Well, when I was getting a bunch of eggs for doing a lawn care for the guy, get the muffin pans and then throw like mushrooms and kale or whatever in them, and just make a whole bunch of egg bites, and then freeze them, and then pop,
Like a
throw them
little
in the
quiche
mixer.
cup thing. That's
Yep,
cool.
and then got that idea from when my wife was manager at Starbucks. I was like, dude, I can make those myself. They come out good.
Heck yeah.
They reheat really well.
Oh, the bacon cup one's a good idea. That's a good idea.
I just
If you
like the
can,
words
if you can get a
reheat.
freeze dryer in your budget, like I can't put into words how much that's gonna end up saving me in the long run.
Yeah, dude, that's freaking awesome.
But you gotta you gotta spring for the oilless vacuum pump
That's what
because
all the reviews I saw say.
Yeah,
Just
I see. You changing that oil reminds me of changing the oil in the fucking vacuum pumps for HVAC. That's exactly what it looks like. Like every 4 to 5 jobs you're on, you have to do that every fucking time.
yeah, you're supposed they want you to crack the drain and let a couple ounces go every cycle. And then like every 7 to 8 cycles, you're supposed to change the oil out completely. And it's $55 for a gallon of that stuff.
jeez.
I'm looking into there's people doing like for diesel trucks, the oil or the filter water separator systems. There's people plumbing those things up and running them constantly while the pump is running.
Yeah, you can probably get away with that.
The
You
guy I
can
watched,
dehydrate them. I don't
I've
know
been
how
really
many
thinking
hours.
about getting one and just leaving it running 24 hours a day, and like, what's the energy consumption on that? Because I could just leave it running at work and use their freaking electric.
yeah,
That's cool.
it's a consideration because it's running it's running a compressor and the vacuum pump all at the same time. It's not insignificant.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it
is
needs
it
a
like
high
a
end
fridge
draw,
or
right?
freezer size compressor? Because those are only like 1.6 to like 2 horse max. Like they don't pull a whole lot of amps.
It's
I
supposed to
heard
be
it.
able to get down to like -20.
Yeah, I
So
heard that they pull like the harvest ones. They pull a high amperage.
Well, if you can figure out how many amps, or just tell me or something, I can convert it and check your wattage hours. If you could get one of those to theoretically run on like a solar generator, that would be badass. Because then it
you
doesn't go off your main power. You know.
I think you would need a lot to run
Really?
that. A,
Damn.
a nice big battery bank and a pretty
And
big
then while
solar array
you're
because
down,
it runs constant for like 48 hours.
Damn.
and while you're down for defrosting and cleaning, then your shit's charging. But you would
Yeah.
need big bank.
Well, I was just thinking, in super duper Minecraft post apocalyptic world, if you could run a freeze dryer on whatever you could scrounge up. So if your garden's flourishing in the summer, but winter is hard that year and you're gonna die because you don't have enough food. Being
Yeah,
able to put up some long term.
I think freeze drying is for the before times.
Gotcha.
In the after times, you're gonna have to go back to like the old school methods of just canning.
Yeah, canning's awesome, dude. Um, yeah, I came in. I did a cold consultation, which I'm not a professional by any means, but I just got another family of 2 started prepping, and we went through like the basics, and they're like, "Man, I want to get the vacuum sealer and all this," and I'm like, "Hold on. You don't even know if you're into it." Like, I'm like, "Look at Facebook Marketplace, look at garage sales." They're like, "What do you mean?" I went to Facebook and I typed in dehydrator and Ziploc or vacuum sealer. I'm like, "Dude, look, you can get both of these right now for under 30 muffins." And they were showing me the price of the one they were looking at, and I'm like, "Yeah, get this, try it out. If it works good, get another one. Like duplicate your dehydrators. That's the cheapest thing to start with, because you can go buy like carrots and celery and whatever you get out of your garden, onions and crap like that, potatoes, so that way it doesn't, a cuts a ton of weight, and b it's stuff you're gonna eat anyway. I like the idea of that. if you're just going to start it out. But Pat's on he's past level 1 or 2 on that. Pat's creeping in on 3 territory for muffin top stages.
As far as dehydrators, if you're gonna buy a new one, I bought that Viver on accident with the company card, and yeah, it
Nice.
runs like hell.
Grit and Grace said canning, salting, and smoking. Salting is something that nobody talks about.
Yeah, salt cure.
Like who's got buckets and buckets of salt?
Well,
I know
well,
I
I
have
do,
buckets of
but
salt, but I actually have the wrong salt.
you
Before
got
I
iodized.
realized it, I just bought normal salt. You're supposed to use like pickling salt or something like that for
Yeah.
salting meat, salt curing meat.
You can use sea salt too.
Yeah, you can use kosher salt, which is not iodized. You use sea salt. You can use Celtic salt. When I switched my diet and my salts and trying to clean up my eating and stuff, I switched to Celtic salt, and it's like super good.
Celtic salts.
Yeah, Celtic, whatever, Celtic. Yeah, you can get like a 20-pound bag of it off Amazon for like, I don't know, $30, $28, something shipped. It's pretty good. You can get smaller packs too, but I mean, if you're gonna do the $5, like the 5 bucket method, and you're worried about putting it up, I mean, buying a couple of those and putting them in a 5-gallon bucket, my lord up.
Is sea salt?
TNT, have you had any more
Wrong
mail
kind of
drops?
salt.
I have a couple companies sending things this week. Is that what you're referring to?
Mm-mm. I just meant regular people.
My last one was Jay, but I bought that. He did give me a Boo Boo kit in it though, which was cool. Jay's a good dude. Which I was gonna use that money that I used for that battle belt, which I probably didn't need since I got 3 of them sitting right here. But I was gonna buy a radio setup from him.
Grit and Grace says, I try to dumb down my preservation methods and be primitive so that if something does pop off, it's one less stress and one less learning curve. That's pretty much everything in the prepping sphere. If you wait until you need your radio to learn how to program or use your radio, you're in big trouble. And if you don't know how to can and all of a sudden you think you're going to start canning when the world ends, well, one, what are you going to can? And 2, you're not going to know if you did it properly until you open it when you need it. And then
Yep.
you're going to starve.
Yeah.
Or die of botulism.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they don't know. But yeah, dude, like a big thing that you need, like I use a metric shitload of dill every year, but I also put up a shitload of pickles. Like that stuff, like I use the Miss Vicky's, like the seasoning kits and stuff for like my salsa and things like that. Yeah, I could probably figure out how to set up my own mixture and stuff, but like you need that shit. You need vinegar. You need 5% acidic vinegar. Like you need to have all that shit on hand. You need to have the jars. You need to have a metric shitload of lids. I went through 200 fucking lids last year. We had to go buy more. And R bought some, and we had some from the year before, but we blew through all the fucking lids we had stocked up. And I thought that we did a pretty good stock, and we blew through it like it was nothing this year. So
They make reusable ones, don't they?
I got a box right here. I got to do a review on. But
That'd be something to keep around for, when the lids aren't available.
Yeah, but they are fucking expensive. I have a box of 50 right here, and R bought a box of 50. They're not cheap. These are the ones that we save for the end of fucking days.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at, to save them back for when when they're not making them anymore.
Yeah.
Or you can't acquire them anymore.
Yeah, these are Super Ant canning lids. We got them on Black Friday.
What is prog powder?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Probably some combination of salt and gunpowder. Probably like the Eastern European version of Colombian Bam Bam.
Oh my.
Taking a medical class? Hell yeah.
Yeah. We just had a MAG member's child have an incident, and they had to perform CPR until medical personnel could arrive. So make sure you are up to date on your medical care for kids as well.
Sophia B is checking out. Good night.
Yeah, I'm not long for this world, boys. I'm at 11%.
And you still got to look up all your wiener pics.
Not Pete, Patter, Peace. I don't know.
Yeah, I probably bail early.
Knowing your different types of CPR, but knowing how to handle a choking situation
Later,
on
not
size
later.
individuals is important too.
Yeah. I wonder if that cure that you use for like jerky meat and stuff would work for that, because you can buy that in huge fucking containers.
You can probably cure meats in Colombian Bam Bam too.
Well, you do that, and we'll see how you do.
I doubt I bet a mix of cocaine and smokeless powder probably would stop most things from growing.
Yeah, and it'd help it cook quicker too, wouldn't it? It'd save you some wood.
It would. It would get you a fine char.
Get you a thick char on that, a nice crust. But yeah, I think I'm going to hit it too, guys. This hour less sleep is going to be interesting, which they should do away with. I don't know if you've done the research on that when they were talking about getting rid of it, but a lot of people die on that little shift change.
No, a lot of people do. It's bad for your health. It really is.
Yeah, heart attacks go up. All kinds of weird medical stuff go up when we change times. ACR came over. ACR Protect. ACR is good people. ACR, you need to hop in my Discord, dude, so we can line up a chat. ACRs are good people. He's Muffin Top approved.
All right, for the sake of health and time changes, I guess I'm gonna turn into.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a mod on your channel before I was a mod on Lawfully's. Thanks, Pat.
Dude, you are a mod. I don't know what you're talking about.
I know. I'm just giving you shit. Mark Legion, what's up?
We got clarification today. Mark said it's pronounced Ligon.
It's pronounced what?
Ligon.
Ligon? Oh, I'm sorry, Mark. I'm a bastard.
Legion sounds so much cooler. Just
It does.
roll with it. Just roll with it.
Pat couldn't be Patriot. He's Pat-Riot. You just got to do what the internet gives you.
Yeah. You can't choose your own nickname. It gets chosen for you. It just doesn't work that way.
That's funny.
Yeah, when we were playing Airsoft, a couple of the older guys, would dole out, call signs or whatever. And it's kind of like the guys that shoot SAS. Like they all have a SAS name. You don't get to pick it. It kind of gets designated to you based off of circumstance or a situation or whatever. And mine ended up being Zipper.
Zipper?
And it wasn't even for a cool reason. It's because I made a joke about a guy getting his dick stuck in his zipper on one of the Airsoft forums. They're like, oh, no, you're Zipper now.
Yeah, you sound like a zipper. He bailed. He couldn't handle it.
I used to work with a guy. I can't even remember his real name right now, but somebody caught him not washing his hands when he left the bathrooms. So he was like stinky poo-poo hand. He was like stinky poo-poo hands after that or something like that. And like I was afraid that guy was going to unalive himself. Like he was just, everyone was calling him that. And you could see he was about to cry. He was about to cry sometimes when it first started happening.
Dirty digits would have been funnier.
Yeah, just wash your fucking hands, bro.
Dirty digits, man.
He's Dirty Dan.
There's one guy, he was like in charge of coming up with funny nicknames. When I first got there, I was C and B, and I'm not going to elaborate further than that.
Cock and balls.
At least they don't call you Motion Light.
I'm really glad I stopped myself on that joke.
You only work when the boss is around. Is that what that is?
Yeah, somebody walks by.
All right, I think I'm gonna call it, boys.
Well, just talk about it right now, ACR.
Yeah, give us your dirty deets.
Get me my first channel strike. Let's roll. You're not cool if you haven't gotten a strike yet, and I'm not cool.
I haven't gotten a strike yet. Guess I'm
Dirty
big
poo
dick
poo
pig.
hands.
All right, I guess we'll shut her down. All you normal mortals need to go to bed. Sunday is really rough for me because I have to like stay up super late and then get up early just so I can go back to bed at like noon. Transitioning from the weekend to the week sucks when you're night work.
Well, we can't all be vampires.
We can't all make the big bucks, Pat.
Big bucks. I'm not making the big bucks, not anymore.
Muffin Top's super classist.
What?
You're super classist.
What do you mean? I'm just
Always singing around that
working class.
loaded.
I don't know about that. Yeah, hashtag loaded.
Yeah, some people just spend their money on the wrong things, and I think I'm in that category.
Yeah,
I should
that's
have
fine.
my savings account should be much bigger than it is.
Well, I'll tell you what. Your savings
There's more in
account's
my
terrible.
checking than there is my savings.
Your savings account is a terrible place to keep your funds because it doesn't grow worth a shit. It's like 0.05, right? Like nothing, not even 1%. You'd be better off keeping it in a CD. If you knew you didn't need the money and you weren't going to need it in like a 2 to 4 month, 6 month period, rotating it in and out, you might as well make 4 to 5% on a CD on it. So you get some growth on your money opposed to just letting it sit there so the bank can loan it out to a richer guy.
My savings account is in God's money.
That's good. I got some diversified that way too.
Yeah, I don't have ones and zeros. I have metal.
I just got.
Oh, I got you. I thought you meant like the offering plate, but I got you now.
Rock that silver. You rich enough for the gold, Big Daddy?
I got a little bit of both, and I'm very happy that I got in when I did.
Yeah. I got some pretty decent stacks of silver. I picked it up when it was 17 muffins a fucking ounce. It's looking pretty tasty right now.
Yeah, I got in
All
at
my
18.
precious metals wrapped around gunpowder.
Hey, brass. That brass will be more valuable and after SHTF than a gold coin or a silver coin is.
Yep. Got to get to the rebuild phase.
A gold coin won't get me a deer or protect my family.
Or chicken to the tree, baby. I'll take a squirrel all day long over a silver coin when I'm starving.
That's one thing I like to say about a lot of other chats where they get so hard into the gear. I said there's going to be a lot of kitted out skeletons laying around.
Yep.
Happy Meals.
If you can be off on your own long enough to let all the chaos ride without you having to interchange with it, that means you picked your location well.
Did you say be off?
Yeah, I mean either way. Just as long as you and yours are off and you don't have to be part of the concentrated madness, right? But also beating off's fun.
The crypto, I have some crypto just to be dumb, but I've doubled my money in the crypto that I bought too.
I cashed out my crypto earlier. I had 1,200 muffins in it, and I cashed out with 39, and I bought a suppressor with it and paid off a credit card. I just dipped in another 500 in it.
Yeah.
Does that not hurt you come tax time though, when you have to report it?
I don't make enough on it to get hurt by it. Because along the way, it calculates, and you take a loss. Like I rode that for about 2 years. So for a while, like at the peak when I was in on it, I hit 18 G's, and you don't think of how much I thought I was a fucking retard for not cashing out then when I cashed it at 3.
Like when I do my taxes, it costs me more to report my stocks than what I'm gained on my stocks.
Well, that's just part of it. But
know.
but the crypto I've never really made enough to have to get hurt because I've also taken dips along the way, so it evens out. So I usually don't have to report. But this is only like the second or third year I've done it.
I like the fact of having your money in something like precious metals, because you own the asset, like it's in your hand. It's not in a bank. It's not, because if you're using Coinbase to trade in crypto, you don't even actually own the crypto. You
Right.
own a stake. You own a stake in the crypto, and it's just like the Sam Bankman-Fried, something, whatever his company was. People were giving him like money to invest in certain assets. He wasn't investing in the assets. They were just spending the fucking money. So you're just out. Good luck.
Yeah,
And
Bernie Madoff them.
yeah, basically. And the gold and the silver is liquid to a point. You can't just walk into a car dealership and buy a car with gold and silver. You can't. It's harder to spend. You have to make extra effort, and I like that. You have to give it some serious thought to go to a coin shop and trade in your silver and your gold to get cash to go buy something. If it needs to happen, it can be done, but you're not going out and spending it on a whim. When you see that,
yeah, but eventually, if you Venezuela hyperinflate, then it was worth a lot. And Mark Legion's right. That's why the government confiscated the gold and silver way back when, is because if you're unstable enough that you can make payments or like potentially pay off your house with a few rounds of whatever you got, opposed to the dollar, like you don't have a dump truck worth of $100 bills ain't worth a loaf of bread. You could buy for 2 ounces of silver in Venezuela. You could buy a giant, for lack of a better term, like slave ownership house kind of thing, like a big manor, and you could buy all the fields that it had and have them worked for the whole year for 2 ounces of silver, because it switched to having buying power, and it was a lot.
Yeah, I've gone through it before, but I think gold and silver has a place even in the apocalypse, because the most of the most the scenarios that are most likely to happen are going to be like regional, or if the United States government just evaporated one day, there's still Canada and there's still Mexico, and they're both going to they're still going to both value gold and silver. Gold might get you on that last boat going down to South America. You know what I mean?
Man, I don't know if there's so many continuity of government plans that wouldn't ever happen. But if you just snapped your fingers and the U.S. government evaporated, so would Mexico and Canada.
Well, I'm just trying to come up with some weird scenario like that you needed to get out of the United States right away.
I'm just saying, like, everyone talks about how porous our southern border is, but the northern border is non-existent besides like the formal crossing areas. So, like, if something
No,
happened that the
Trump's trying to
U.S.
shut it down. There's a ton of stuff coming in the northern border. It's just not focused in
I'm
on the
talking right
news.
now.
Yeah, there's a ton
I
of
don't.
shit coming in there.
I know.
People
That's what I'm.
smuggling, Chinese,
That's what
drugs.
porous. Do you know what porous means?
Yes, I know
It's
what
like a
porous means, but
sieve.
you're saying like nobody's talking about fucking the northern border. No, the news is shit's focused on the southern border. The same shit's happening up north. They're just not focused
That's
on
what I'm
it. They're
saying.
not. Oh, let's build a fucking wall up north too.
Silver
And if our
bullets for
government,
werewolf preppers. That's awesome.
the crazy, yeah, Yankee Marshall's into that.
I don't know. It's all bad, but I'll let you know. All these storms and fires and things have given even less faith in government for me. They can't get fucking FEMA figured out. They can't get any sort of volunteer church. When volunteers go there and they get their hands tied behind their back with red tape, and people just have to say fuck it and do their own thing like Bear Independent anyway, I don't have any faith in any of the government's shit that's set up.
Well, it's a mix of a mix of things. You you have people that show up that mean well, but they're just in the way, and they turn into a mouth to feed. Like they cause a logistics issue. That's why Bear was even saying, don't just fucking come. Like, sign up and let us dispatch you when we need you, like on rotation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
And
they bring their
FEMA, first and
equipment, their
foremost,
fuel, their water,
I
their own food.
understand.
Yeah.
FEMA is first and foremost a continuity of government agency. They're not like the outward presence you see of them, yes, is disaster relief at some capacity, but they're a make sure the government continues in crisis. Like, them doing anything for rebuilding your neighborhood is way down their list of priority. They're there to get utilities back up and running and get the government buildings, like, to maintain a show of governance.
Well, I went out once with the church, and I did more plumbing and electrical fixing than any of the fucking people I seen on their crews, and they were getting
Mm-hmm.
fucking paid to do it, and I was doing it for free. So
Bear explained a whole bunch of that too in Tennessee, North Carolina. He explained that FEMA contracts for utility companies and contractors and stuff.
yeah, I don't know. I gotta go.
I'm not saying that it's go to bed. I'm not saying it's right. It's just there is a balance to that.
Yeah, but the part where the local government is stopping a dude like they're on his own dime from rescuing people with his personal helicopter. When you're stopping that guy from rescuing people, there's something wrong there.
Yeah, when you take a flatbed full or a semi load like pinball preparedness, and they got turned away at one church or whatever, and the government blocked the church donations, so they went to another place that's within driving distance to drop off their load of dog food and diapers and all that shit, the canned soups that people needed because they didn't have heat sources, they didn't have water, Gatorade, shit like that, baby formula. Fuck those guys. And they had the distribution set up volunteer. You can't tell me by the time you get the logistics, it's there and you have the load there, and you brought guys to help fucking unload it and put it where the organization people have it going on to be dispersed to the most needy. No, when you have the private sector doing the job, that people like that get paid way more money to sit on their ass all year and come out there and not do shit. Bullshit. Fucking bullshit.
It's all a quagmire.
It is a quagmire. Giggity.
All right.
All right. Yeah, anyway. Best way to stop all that is to be as self-sufficient as possible, right?
Yeah.
When the government says they're here to help, you can say, I'm doing fine. I don't need you. Go to the next guy. That's how you know you win. But that's just like the same argument where some of the people that we know shit on cops all the time. And I don't shit on cops. I know they have a good place. And same
A
with
little
FEMA.
bit of
There's probably some good ones in there too, but all you see on the news is the shitty ones.
At least your sheriffs, your city cops, their two main things are stop mass shooters and generate tax revenue. I don't think there's a whole lot of nuance between the two extremes for city cops.
Yeah, sheriff's the best. That's the one that you need to give the support to, because when shit hits the fan, that's your last line of defense between martial law and the corrupt government acting upon you, and them basically rallying people and
They're your
deputizing them.
constitutional.
Deputized. Yep.
They're your constitutional,
Your last amount of freedom. So make sure you have a good sheriff in. There's a reason why I shoot with the sheriffs and not the police department. That's one of them.
We've got a great sheriff here. I hate that he's not running again. He'd win if he'd run again, but I think he's just ready to be retired.
Yeah, I think one of my buddies that I shoot with quite a bit, he's a deputy, and I think he's going to be on the next ticket, because that guy's getting pretty old, and he's a pretty outstanding gentleman. So he'll have my vote. All right, we're all out of here. What the fuck? We've been dicking around for another 20 minutes. I could have been scrubbing my balls and going to bed.
Nobody's stopping you. You're a grown ass man. You tell us all the time.
I gotta go scrub.
Go do it, grown ass man.
Deuces, y'all.
Go to bed.
Don't forget to do your back.
I can't reach. You're gonna have to help.
If you don't leave, I'm gonna kick you. If you don't leave, I'm gonna kick you out of here. Bye.
See you guys.
You'll have to hang your soap off a rope. Do the blue method. Scrub your back like scratch and post.
A bunch of people just saying later. I know I couldn't do their job. What is that in reference to? Local Leos?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to be a cop when I was a kid. When I was trying to join the Marine Corps, I told him I wanted to be an MP because I wanted to be a cop when I got out, and he was like, "Ooh, no, you don't want to do that." He says everyone hates the MPs. They're just like hall monitors. It's more like a hall monitor than a cop. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Well, the little bit that I know, having never served a day in uniform, but having lots of friends that did, basically across the board in all services, sans maybe the Navy. If you're an MP or a security force, or whatever each branch calls it, when a deployment occurs and they need to fill bodies with infantry or convoy security, you get thrown in there. So you end up being the stopgap for either infantry or not mechanized infantry. What's the
Getting late.
Cavalry.
Neurons aren't firing.
Yeah. So either.
Yeah, I definitely have the patience. Like I'm very, very slow to anger. It's the other end of the spectrum, like responding to car accidents and stuff like that. Even then, like I'm okay with most of that, but like if I saw a messed up kid in a car accident, I don't know if I'd ever recover from that.
I think you can
And
rationalize that whether you're there or not, that sort of stuff's going to happen.
yeah,
So, like, why not? You know, if not you, then somebody else.
and you
My
definitely
thing, I have a friend that was a cop for just a short period of time. Like, he went through academy and was doing his probationary period, where you have like a field training officer right along with you, and he pulled this lady over that had a light out. I guess that had gotten a warning like a day or two before, and she explained that she was just trying to make it payday to afford the light bulb, and so he had to write her the ticket. And I think that and maybe one other small thing like that made him go, no, like I didn't sign up to harass well-intentioned people. Like you could tell this, like his situation was, he was saying you could tell this lady like meant well, like she was working, she was trying to participate in the American experience, and just was having a hard go of it. And then he just
yeah.
decided that he,
Add insult to injury. Someone's already down on their
mhm.
luck. Can't afford a light bulb. They certainly
So
can't afford that.
he resigned and went back to being a shift lead at the chicken plant.
I think for the most part, just everyone you meet is probably having one of the worst days of their life, and you start to become. You either go numb to all of it or you get cynical about all of it. You can't see the good in people anymore.
Hmm. I
And
can
I think
imagine.
that would be devastating for me because I'm one of those people that like I'll give you the shirt off of my back the day I meet you. Like trust is given, and you know, mistrust is earned with me, and it's burned me a few times, but I like being that way.
Mark was an officer for a while.
He
Patriot
was
from
Patriot
Warsaw.
from
Was that?
Warsaw.
He was over in Muffins earlier. He was a new
I'm
name for us.
confused.
He joined the
There's
Discord. He joined.
there's food in people. I'm a little
I
concerned.
think I think he meant good in people.
Yeah.
There's good in people. If you like long pork, there's food in them too. Yeah, he said typo.
Yeah. I was concerned there for a minute. I thought I might have to ban my first person.
Yum 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 yum
I,
yum. Delicioso.
I'm not big enough to even have a troll yet, so it's got to be on the lookout though. Typo.
I know a guy that's younger than me that's already been in two officer involved shootings, and just talking to him, like being rational about it. The problem is once you've been in one, like the statistical likelihood of being a cop involved in an officer involved shooting is like super thin. But then once you've been in one, the likelihood of being in a second one, it goes up like dramatically. And then after the second one, you're a marked man. Like when you're on shift, like you're a known go getter. Like you're the attack dog. So like the minute somebody has a problem, like dispatch sends you. You know what I mean? Like you become like the enforcer.
Mm.
So he pretty quickly like tried to move up into something where he wasn't a regular beat cop anymore. He's on the SWAT team, and one of the two was a SWAT call, but like his first one was actually right at the end of his field training experience. It was a domestic. They separated the couple, and the sergeant was like, "No, I got this." Like he stayed in the house with the belligerent guy. He went out on the porch with the wife, and then the sergeant was like, he got some message out over the radio or whatever. He leaned back in, like looked in the glass door, and saw the guy in the living room. He had like produced two pistols from a recliner, like the sides of a recliner, and had the sergeant dead to rights. So he shot him like 4 times. And the guy dropped his knees and like went to go pick one of the guns back up. And so he shot him 3 or 4 more times. White sheeted him right there in the living room.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The state of policing today, maybe because of what the media only shows us as negative. I wouldn't even want to be a cop anymore.
No,
I feel like
it's
it's partially just because the media shows you only when they mess up, but people are so angry with cops right now, just assassinating them while they're just sitting in their car and stuff like that.
well in the state of the job, like the procedure and everything. So much of that, it's a mix. It's to protect the officers, and it's also like the police unions and stuff have had a heavy hand in everything, and I don't know why they don't. And I know the argument is expense. Like it's cheaper to have 2 cars and 2 separate officers canvassing an area, covering a beat, than to double them up. But I would think that it would go a long ways to putting 2 cops in the car again, because you've got 2 sets of eyes watching the scene. 4 hands. You would think that you wouldn't need to call for backup as often. And then if you did, I mean, I don't know. I just outside looking in, I would think it would go a long ways for putting 2 officers in per car again. Having it right there with you, partner.
I agree, because it takes probably 3 grown men to control one irate adult man. It's not a one-on-one thing. It's not like Hollywood. And I'd really like to talk to like one of the trainers to see what they're trained to do these days. Because even I get mad when I see some of these videos coming out. Uh, One in particular that stands out in my mind is they got called for somebody at a Walmart. I don't remember the whole situation, but the guy was completely unarmed, and he went to pull up his pants or something, and they fucking unloaded on him.
Hmm.
Like that makes me angry. And I wish I could talk to somebody who trains the police. Like, what are they training these guys to do? I feel like they pull their pistols out way too often. Like before they even know what's going on in any scene, they roll up with their pistols out.
Yeah. Well, and then the thing is, they're trained. I know for a fact they're trained to shoot till the threat's neutralized. So once they've made a decision to shoot, you're going to get the SWAT and the bees treatment. Like they're just going to shoot till you're one with the pavement.
Right. They shoot until you stop moving.
I mean, there's not give a guy a helping or two and see if he sorts himself out. It's you're you're giving him the whole buffet. I think that's a mix.
Yeah, places like Chicago. Go ahead.
They're just lawless. Chicago is. I can understand why. It's a mix of the qualified immunity and minimal continued firearms training. Like most cops get a real shake and bake shooting class. It's not terribly extensive. I mean, a week or two of your 9 to 13 weeks at police academy is for most places, and then that's besides your annual call, which for most agencies, unless you need remedial training or something like you just suck, is you shoot 50 rounds or whatever, you know. And not all cops are gun people. I mean, there are cops that are gun people that are competitive shooters or that take continual firearms training classes on their own dime or whatever. But unless you're like a SWAT officer, you don't really have any like continual training, and the bar is set really low.
Yeah, talking about the cities like Chicago and everything. Um, there's only one way to deal with that. I think it was what's that really fast talking Jewish guy?
Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, Ben Shapiro. He explained what it's going to take those cities back. You have to put basically a police officer on every corner for years, and you have to offer like tax um, um, immunity for businesses to be in that area. The only way to bring those areas back is to police them heavily and to get businesses back in that area. That's the only way to bring them back.
Arm shopkeepers and
Well, it's not even that. You just have to have law enforcement basically on every corner so that
well, I know. But I mean,
no shenanigans can occur whatsoever. And what is it? Trump was saying he wants a automatic death penalty for someone who kills a police officer. Well,
yeah,
what are we gonna
he
what are we gonna do to balance that out? Like, what happens to the police officers on bad kills? Like the guy that's pulling his pants up and you fucking smoke him. Is that guy getting the death penalty, or is he getting qualified immunity and going home to his kids at night? You have to hold the police to an incredibly high standard. But then also, I'll give you that if someone intentionally, shoots and kills a cop, sure, death penalty.
yeah, if they intentionally murder a cop, you
I'm
smoke
in
one,
agreement with that.
yeah, murder though, not like they served a no-knock warrant on the wrong house and you responded how a logical person would respond to their door getting kicked in at 2 in the morning or something, 4 in the morning. The New York City cops suck too. They shoot the wrong people. Like the dude that got fired from the job, like at the Empire State Building or whatever, and he went back like a day or two later to shoot his former boss, somebody else, wherever. He shot him and then walked out of the building. You know, like he came out, went around the corner, and somebody flagged down some cops, and they came running around and like shot 6 people in the process of trying to shoot at him.
I remember that.
They do use the right ammo though. Spear Gold Dot, 24 plus P. They just give them to the wrong people. And if cops were held to some sort of fitness standard, you know, if they for them being a paramilitary force, not having a continual PT standard that they have to meet, that's I think what causes that escalation of violence. You know, like, because they're allowed to meet or exceed your violence, but if there's that disparity of physical conditioning, like they're quicker to go to the gun if they can't handle it with hands. You know, that's why so many of these dash cam videos and officer worn body cam videos turns to contact body shots so quick. It's one officer out on the side of the road by themselves, and they lose when that guy's not complying and won't get in the handcuffs, it turns into a lot of times a one-directional gunfight.
I feel like a lot of shootings just happen when the officer gets startled. And I kind of understand it. Last night, all my dogs were going nuts. My little dogs were out in the backyard barking, and my husky was out front doing his talking. And my wife was like, "There's something out there. You got to go check it out." I'm like, really? I went out there. I had my flashlight in one hand and my pistol in the other. And I checked the front. Nothing was going on. I started walking around the side of the building, and something rustled in the leaves like 3 feet away from me. And turns out it was just a possum, but it startled the shit out of me. And I had a pistol in my hand, and that pistol was pointed in that direction before I knew what I was pointing at.
Well, and with your previous run-in with the sheriff, standing behind you with your earmuffs on, that would be a scary way to meet one again
Yeah.
in the dark. I would hate for you to get homicided.
I mean, it's happened before too.
Over
It was
misunderstanding.
I was doing some shooting in my backyard. I had the cop walk up behind me. I had no idea they were there. Years before that, somebody broke the window of my wife's vehicle and stole her purse and some other stuff. And I was outside, and at the time, the only freaking flashlight I had was on my pistol. So I walked around my property and made sure that people were gone. And then I'm just like looking at my wife's car with the pistol light, and completely oblivious, the police roll up behind me in the cruiser. The guy gets out and gives me the cop voice, "Sir." Like, oh shit. If it wasn't a small town cop that had his wits about him, when I turned around with a gun, he probably would have fucking smoked me.
Mm-hmm. Good thing you got one of the good ones.
Yeah. The small, that's, one of the good reasons for being in a small town. I saw this out from a news article. What was that? Want to hear a crazy story? Yeah. The cat, it's me again. It's the deaf one. For the longest time, this cat never made a peep. It's one of those farm cats that's like so inbred it doesn't even barely have a tail, and it's deaf, completely deaf. You can sneak up right behind it. It doesn't know you're there. For the longest time, it never made a peep, but like within the last year, it figured out how to meow, and it doesn't know how loud it is because it's deaf. Trespassing laws apply to cops without warrants. Cops get a bad complaint about his neighbor. Cop goes there and sees the man with the chainsaw. Cop says, "Hey, sir, can you drop the chainsaw?" "Sir, the dude mind you had no earmuffs on." He ignored the officer, turned around to his right, and was running the chainsaw and armed it while it was running the police officer's plate. and armed it while it was running, rammed it maybe while it was running into the
think
police
he's, I
officer's
think he's
plate.
using like he throttled it. I think there's some English as a second language going on. Oh
Rammed.
no, he
Yeah,
didn't
that's
mean
what I
rammed.
thought. Holy shit. It's even though that sounds like it may have been an accident, like almost couldn't fault the cop for if he pulled out his pistol and started shooting that guy. Like, you just attacked me. Oh, no accident, he says. Jeez.
Well, in that situation, of all the places you could do it, that would be the wrong place because the Kevlar would probably bog the chainsaw down pretty quick.
Yeah, I don't care if you're a cop or a civilian. If you're trying to hit me with a fucking chainsaw, you're gonna get smoked. Yeah, fortunately for me, almost all of my interactions with police have been fairly positive, despite the surprise of having that lady officer standing behind me. She's just like, I just wanted to make sure you had a proper backstop.
Oh, it was a female that time.
Yeah, it was a female cop. Oh, we don't have place isn't big enough to have full time. So when our sheriff or whatever is not on duty, we have state police come in here.
Not that that detail didn't change the outcome of the scenario. It was a detail. Either you didn't say it before or I missed it.
Yeah, I probably didn't say it. Like you said, it doesn't change the story at all. But they do say female officers are quicker to go to guns for the reason you
Mm-hmm.
stated. It's the disparity of force.
Same grit and grace. I want my cops, even the ones interacting with me. I want them built like a NFL linebacker.
And, green belts in judo. Not judo.
I mean,
What's the word?
prefer that he not be on like steroids.
Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I want him to feel quite confident with open hands because I'm not going to give him any reason to yank me out of the car, even if I think that I'm right and they're wrong in the moment. I'm going to concede. We'll sort it out in court. You're not ever going to talk about. I mean, if they have some reason to arrest you, you're not going to talk them out of it, and you verbally escalating is just going to flip that switch and make it turn worse for you than it has to be.
It's just there's a disparity of force there. I'm sure there's, the top 1% of women that are bodybuilders or super jacked and strong that can take out, the lower 50% of men, but the average man and the average woman, the man just has the advantage in height and strength and aggression, really. And I agree with what Mark says here. They don't have the funding to train their officers. You know, some people
Yeah, but
scream defund the
don't put it.
police. I think we should fund them more for that training.
It's cheaper than lawsuits, wrongful death lawsuits, and all that stuff. Um, and even if you don't, even if you put it on the individual officer, make set some sort of PT requirement as part of your annual certification. And too bad, so sad. If the cop doesn't want to work at that department, they go work for another agency. But make that the new norm. You know, along with their annual call, they've got to do a PT test.
Yeah, for my
You
job,
know,
I'm required to go get health inspection or
and
health
I'm sure they,
inspection. I have to
I'm
go
sure
get
they probably
a
get
health.
a physical, like a physical and a sleep test and stuff. Is
Yeah, I have to get
that
a
what you're saying?
because of my blood pressure. I have to go once a year, but for most people, I think it's only at 2 years. But that's part of my job requirement. Oh, they should have this. They should have the same or similar. And
But
if I was a
make
police officer and they weren't able to provide me training, I would definitely be going to like a to learn jujitsu on my own because that would be, what makes me good at my job.
right, and you would, but they don't all. That's what I'm saying. That's the thing now. You have some that are into it. You know, you've got some that are training junkies that do privately seek out that additional training. They go above and beyond. You know, they want to be the best. And some of them that's career and leadership stuff. Like some of that stuff is guys that want to take investigation classes or whatever, fire classes. You know, and some of them it's combative training and firearms classes and whatever. You know, it just depends on the person. But if you set some sort of PT requirement, it would at least keep them off from becoming just withering away and becoming hard asses. You know, like that cop, if he's got to run 50 yards, 100 yards, and then go hands on, he's going to shoot you. Like if he's already smoked, like they'll buy their own gym membership.
Can everybody see the dog pile?
Aw,
They're mad because I turned their heater off. Well, we're coming up on midnight my time, and we've been going for 2 hours. I think I'm going to go ahead and start winding it down.
yep. They say that's that live stream sweet spot. That's where the algorithm likes it. Be sure after you end it to go back and edit the description and add some hashtags and stuff in there. Everybody like, share, and sub. Comment in the morning. Get that replay gang going. I
Dog
like
pile.
like when I'm at work. I like to just hit play on somebody's video, put my phone on the charger, and turn the volume down. Just help get everybody's watch time up, even if they're not interested in. Like even if it's not something I can pay attention to, or that I caught part of it the day before, whatever. I don't want to rewatch it all. I'll just let it play just to help. Like get Muffin Tops watch time up, or Red Dawn, or whoever.
I think that could make a difference for somebody if they're monetized.
It definitely helps you crawl your way to the opportunity to become monetized. I think it'd be cool to get to where I could have like super chats or memberships or whatever. Not that I'm going to provide that kind of quality of content, but if somebody did want to throw fivers my way once in a while, that'd be cool.
Yeah, my chats are so small. I don't need that. You don't have to send me super chats. I'm going to go ahead and highlight or read pretty much every comment.
Oh, for sure. That's what makes the discussion.
Yeah, I can't sit here and just talk for 2 hours without some sort of input. I don't know if you'd like where my brain went if that were to happen. I'd be talking about Bigfoot and aliens and
Yeah, that's fine. That's the sort of stuff
skinwalkers.
I go. That's the sort of stuff that I fall asleep to. Like I'll throw Wendigoon on and just listen to him. I played the 9 hour iceberg video last night. I went to
Yeah.
sleep to it, woke up to it.
Have you ever checked out the Lore Lodge? That guy's pretty badass. He tells some videos that'll give you goosebumps.
Listen to a bunch of the missing 411 videos.
Yeah, he goes into depth on some of those too. Yeah, Lore Lodge, Wendigoon. I don't know that I've ever listened to Wendigoon. Maybe I have and didn't know it.
He's a young guy. Isaiah is his name. I think he went to seminary school. I know his dad's a pastor. They've had him on. They've had him on the Unsubscribed podcast a couple times. They joke about him being Brandon Herrera's son. He kind of looks like a younger Brandon Herrera when they both have their hair long. He's got a pretty sultry voice. He's well spoken, usually.
Yeah. And
I
the
like his
Y
stuff.
Files.
Mm,
The Y Files is my jam too. I'm on their Discord also. Um, that gets me sometimes. I love when the fish starts giving him crap.
See, we find our tribe. You got to remember to actually end the live stream whenever you do that.
Oh yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Yep.
Remember
Good
to stay
night.
lawfully armed.
Y'all be nice.
2 is 1, 1 is 9. 3 for me. If you got 4, what's one more?
Yep. Trying to see if there's like an outro or something in here. No? Outro video? Oh, I gotta pay for that. Never mind. All right.
Keep your shit
That works.
wired tight.
My phone's dead. Are we still live?
Mm-hmm. It's in the top left.
I can't end
I
it.
think.
I can't
It's the
end
top
it.
left or the bottom right. I
It
don't
won't
remember.
stop.
Just hit end stream.
I am. It won't end.